only for a little while, until reality starts sinking in. Once again, I'm settling for second best. Turn the page.
BlazeBodyz! Here we are, back on the tread episode. A lot has gone on this last couple of weeks. All good. With the exception of our weather, of course, that just doesn't want to quit. That's kind of, maybe that's a good analogy for today's segment on never giving up or persevering. I mean, just like the weather, it's being stubborn. It refuses to back down. That's how you have to be in your quest and endeavor to get in the best shape of your life. Now, I hear it all the time. People, at least once a day, at least one client says, when's it gonna get easier? I'm busting my ass. I'm trying so hard. I'm eating clean. You know, I put in all this work so far this week, and I didn't drink, and I didn't do this, and I didn't do that, and the scale didn't move, or it went up a pound. And then you got to understand, now, you know, we've talked about this many times before. It's never gonna get easy. It never should, but you got to understand your body wants to maintain what's called homeostasis. Now, I don't want to get into a technical science lecture here about the physiological effects of things, but I told you this before. Your body works with a thing called a set point. It's like a thermostat in your house. It always wants to maintain a comfortable level, and if you deviate, let's just use the thermostat in your house as an example. If you have it set at, say, you know, 70 degrees, or if you're in my house, it's set at like 75, and all of a sudden it gets up to 80 degrees outside, things kick off, things stop, and because it wants to revert back to 75. Well, your body is the same way. If your current particular body fat level, composition, and scale weight are at a certain weight, and you start busting your ass, and you start losing weight and body fat, if you're doing things the way you're supposed to be, it's going to immediately start wanting to revert back to where it was to be comfortable. So, you know, you're always going to be going against the tide. You're going to literally be pushing harder and harder, eating cleaner and cleaner, and providing everything is staying on point and you're being consistent and accountable, you'll be dropping. And say you get about 10 pounds down, your body's going to try to fight its way back. So you got to hold that weight off. It's not going to come off and stay off. It never will be. People think that if you lose, you know, say, just as an example, 10 pounds of body fat, that fat's gone forever, that the fat cells are gone. You don't lose fat cells. We're all born with a particular amount of fat cells in our bodies, a certain amount of muscle cells, and so on, genetically. Some people have less, some people have more. That's why everyone's different. But the fat doesn't just go away forever. The cells just shrink down, providing you're doing everything correct, and you know, the fat gets released from the fat cells and into the bloodstream and get drawn up into the muscles to be burned, and with, you know, other mechanisms are involved. But so your fat cells are gonna immediately start becoming more efficient at fat storing as you lose weight. The whole body gets ready to start putting it back on again as you're taking it off. So you're always gonna have to keep trying. You're always gonna have to keep pushing. It's a non-stop battle. Now, the older you get, things get even more. I've told you this before a million times. Things get a lot more challenging. Your fat cells, and muscle cells are directly related to what's called insulin resistance, or glucose intolerance for that matter. And a lot of that has to do with hormones. Biologically, there's other things involved, but as you get a little older, your hormones shift, and so does your efficiency of burning calories and storing calories. So those fat cells get smarter and happier the older you get, because for instance, for an example, as a guy, our testosterone levels go down as we get older, which in turn our muscle mass goes down. And then as our testosterone levels are going down, our estrogen levels go up. That higher level of estrogen causes the fat cells to be more sensitive on a reception level, and you put fat on easier. So the more fat you put on as a male, the more estrogen goes up. The more estrogen goes up, the easier it gets to store fat. So women deal with it all the time. They lose a pound or two, they put back on 2 or 3. Hormones are being constantly shifted back and forth. So it's always going to be a challenge. Never is it going to be easy. It's, sure, your workouts may sometimes, you come in and you have one of those days where you're like, oh damn, I feel like I can blast this forever. I can keep going, burning things up, sweating, awesome workout. And then there are days where it's a freaking challenge. There are days where you're like, God, get me through this workout. It's never gonna be easy. So always rest assured that as you get stronger and more fit and leaner and look better, you still want to continue to push forward and be an even better version of yourself. But don't take yourself for granted. It's going to always want to go back to where it was. So if you're like me, I learned a long time ago to just stay in the best shape I can all the time, because I know how hard it is to take it off. And then the more out of shape you are, the harder it is to get down to be in shape. You can most definitely do it, but it's going to be hard getting there, as it should be, because nothing should be easy. But once you do take it off, and I know you can, it's going to want to fight back. So you're in a constant battle with yourself. It's a constant battle within yourself. Physically, of course, mentally, and so on. So don't ever give up on yourself. Don't ever give up. Don't take yourself for granted. If good for you. If you dropped some weight recently in the gym, here it is now, March. It's been 12 weeks since the first of the year. If you're still going at it hard since the first, you're not a New Year's resolution. You're in it. You're in it. But say you drop 10, 15, 20 pounds, you got a vacation coming up. Just because that 20 pounds is off your body doesn't mean you can be irresponsible and go eat crappy on vacay and expect it not to come back, because it's coming back. You will put it back on. So you got to be careful. You got to always be careful. You can maybe be a little liberal and be careful and understand the ramifications of eating or drinking certain things. But if it's off, it's gonna come back. It's a lifelong thing with fitness. you have to be accountable to yourself all the time, 24/7, all the time. And like I said, but that's what's great about it all, because you can appreciate all the hard work. I've been helping a couple of ladies for some competitions lately, and they're realizing how hard it is to get down into, you know, I have two really great people. One girl is down just under 10%, and she's in her 20s. She's going to be 20. This other girl's in her mid-40s. She's down to like a little under 15, and we're going to take her down to 10 for the show. Now, you know, they both looked amazing before, but when we get them on stage, they're going to look super incredible, and then they're realizing just how hard it really is to get down there and keep it off. It's not easy by any means. So that's that. I hope everything's going well for y'all. It's it's almost 2 weeks now since the official start of spring, and we got snow coming in a couple of days. So I started tanning. I know it's not healthy, but I had to do it psychologically because I was going cuckoo. And you all know I'm already crazy. Alright guys, have a great day, have a great weekend. Get to the gym and bust it up. It's worth it. Every ounce of sweat is worth it. Alright guys, take care. I'll see y'all soon.